Define and differentiate between boundaries and frontiers. Describe the geometrical boundaries with suitable example. 2016. Describe law of international boundaries and frontiers. And 1982 Indo-Pakistan border problem. So let's first get into boundaries and frontier. Let's define and differentiate them. We will also look at geometric boundaries. What are geometric boundaries? Why is this word coming? And right in the beginning, we saw the latest question, genetic classification. So geometric boundary, and here we have genetic boundary. So what is this whole idea about? So before I begin with this next topic about borders and frontiers, I want to remind you of something. I want you to remind you of climatology and the word front. I want you to be reminded of climatology and the word front. Keeping that context in mind, can you tell me what is the difference between a frontier and a boundary? Outer limits. Frontier is a small stretch, no man's land, okay. Boundary, territorial demarcation. Boundary is geographical extent of the frontier. Boundary is delineated specifically, but frontier is not specifically marked. Why not? We can mark it. Frontier can be marked if it is a man-made frontier, if it is a geometrical frontier. Yes? Anyways, so let me come back. Good, you participated. That's a good idea. So let me bring to you the idea of fronts once again. Front. Latin word frons. Latin word frons, French word front, means something, means forehead, ahead of hinterland, something which is ahead of hinterland. So what do we call it? Foreland, something that is there. Hear that? So just imagine this is some area during primitive times, and a settlement was established here, a tribal settlement established here, Why? Because these patches were fertile, and what is this? In between there is a thick forest, or there is a desert, or there is a marsh, marshy land. So what happens is that this is a no man's land, nobody lives over here, no man's land, which lies ahead of this, and in between what is it? It is a transitional zone. This transitional zone is called a front or frontier. So what will have? It is not a linear entity, it will have its width and it will have its own length also. So it is a two-dimensional thing. Let me remind you of something from the air currents. So air masses, one air mass, another air mass, they resist mixing, and the zone of transition between them, this zone was called not front, this was called frontal zone. The bottom of it, where it touches the ground, this ground line was called front. On weather map, your teacher would have told you, I have told my student, it is shown as a line, but in reality it is an aerial feature. It is an aerial feature. It is a battlefront between two contrasting air masses. Two contrasting air masses. So here the idea was a battle. Likewise, between two settlements. What is this? Settlement. This no man's land, this transitional land. Say for example, this was warm front, this was cold front, cold air mass, warm air mass and cold air mass. Front will be what? Intermediate or transitional. Likewise, you will find people from this tribe, sometimes seen here also. You will find people from this tribe, sometimes seen here also, but they will not be living all the time over here. So here we have two different tribes and the zone is called the frontier. Do we get that? So very clear. And no state, and if this was a state, just imagine if this was a state, it was a state. So no state exercises full control. You can have a transitional control. That they can agree on certain things. So I want to tell you on this, when we are talking about the boundary around Sikkim, boundary of China around Sikkim, because there is a dispute, there is not a clear understanding of LAC. So what the two militaries had decided was that you are patrolling, you patrol up to your point and we will also patrol up to our point, but let us not do it at the same time. If we do it at the same time, then we will come eyeball to eyeball. So there is, since the area is not so clearly demarcated, so let us do what? Let us do something about claim of control is there. Let us not make that this conflict should happen. So something of that sort is there. But when we are talking about LAC, LAC is a disputed line of actual control. It is line. It is not just a frontier. Frontier is something which has been there, and it has been created for various reasons. Let us understand some of them about that. So first of all, when I am talking about this, so frontiers can be political and they can also be settlement frontiers. So when we are talking about political frontiers, means between two states. That's the frontier, that's the no man land that we have created. And what is settlement? Settlement is between two settlements. So let us talk about this Arabian Peninsula. This is Saudi Arabia. Here we have Yemen. Here we have Oman. So what is there? These boundaries are generally frontiers. These are frontiers. And what is here? Desert. Remember desert, no man's land. No man's land, who will be living over there? Maybe some tribals are living. That's also there. Get that? What do I mean by settlement? I mean by settlement, just I gave you an example of this thing, that these were two settlements, two different people living in some area, wherever favorable land was, that is there. Now this is a very deterministic time. But imagine if it is a possibilistic time, will this settlement grow? Will it encroach upon the frontier or not? So what will happen to the frontier? Frontier will shrink. So frontiers need not be fixed. They can move. So frontiers were classified as political frontiers and settlement frontiers. They can also be classified as dynamic frontiers, expansionist expansionists, or colonial times. Frontiers were changing. Say for example, Britishers, when they were talking about their conquest, it is said that Afghanistan was never conquered because it was kept as a buffer state. Afghanistan was a buffer. Get that? Likewise, when we are talking about Thailand, Thailand was a buffer. But then as the colonizer decided to choose, he might expand into that colony. So what will happen? The frontier will change. However, there are static frontiers also. Static frontiers. So what is a static frontier? Let me give you an example of a static frontier. I have just given you an example of expansionist frontier. So I just gave you Afghanistan. They agree, but they can shift the boundary. So this is North America. Original people, red Indians. Remember the mistake of geographers to call them red Indians, but what are these? These are the original American people. So Native Americans. Native Americans. What is this? Aborigines. Who are Aborigines? Native Australians. Now what happens is, this is Europe. During colonization, they have come here. Europeans are over here. Do we get that? Europeans are over here. Europeans also came, remember, they went to Botany Bay, Sydney. Botany Bay, which is now Sydney, was the first place where they colonized. So they have come here. Will they pick up conflict with these people also? The Aboriginals are also there. Will they be fight or not? Is there any no man's land? Yes, there is a no man's land where nobody lives. What mountain range is this? Can you tell me? And what mountain range is this? Can you tell me? Mountain ranges have width also. This is the Australia's Great Dividing Range. This is Appalachian Mountains. Yes or no? What is this? Both of them will act as frontiers. Can we shift them? No, they cannot be shifted. These are static frontiers. Yes or no? So, it was Britishers who decided some part of Afghanistan be kept as buffer, but they can shift it. They can shift it, they can bring it down to the place where Pakistan is today. But they had kept that. Similarly, in Southeast Asia, they kept Thailand, something of that sort, whether it should be there or not. Till Myanmar, they were occupying it. The Burma bolte the usko. So things were there. So this is about your frontiers. So frontiers are zones. A desert can be there, a forest region can be there, a no man land, a land with inhospitable living conditions, inhospitable, adverse geography. That is a static frontier. You don't have to take the pain of drawing some line or something that becomes there. For India, China, very clearly Himalaya is a frontier, no? Himalaya is a frontier. Within that, if we have lines like LOC, if we have lines like McMahon line, with Pakistan, if we have with Pakistan, if we have LOC, with China we have LAC, we have heard of lines like Durand. Those are boundary lines. Those are boundary lines. Those are boundaries. Boundaries are linear things. But when we are talking about zones, now those are frontiers. So Himalayas are frontiers at places with Pakistan, at places with China. We have delineated a boundary with Bangladesh, because remember, that is a plain. That is a plain region. Plain region, there we will have to do that. So we did not have a natural frontier on that. Do we get that? I want to end frontiers. If you have a question on that, please ask me. Frontier is an area where a boundary is linear. Not necessary, that's not true. Why should frontier be an area where boundary is linear? I want to tell you Aral Sea. If you look at Aral Sea is the boundary between various countries of Central Asia, Russian ones. Boundaries are well defined and delineated borders. Okay, very good, Anandbir. Frontiers are regions of overlap with no clear delineation. Yes, absolutely clear. That's also correct. Frontier is flexible, overlapping, boundary is fixed. Manoj, if you are saying boundary is fixed, can it not be through mutual agreement be changed? Say for example, I am talking about boundary 12 nautical mile is considered the territorial limit. If today UN agrees to 14 nautical mile, then what will happen? We will take that also. So, can we add buffer zone of forest as static frontier? Yes, you can add that. Anurag, so can we say frontier between India and Bangladesh is dynamic frontier because of Brahmaputra flowing between them? I don't see Brahmaputra being the border between India and Bangladesh, is it? Brahmaputra flows from Assam and Sadia to Dhubri, silting. Well, we will bring in the aspect of change of a river as a boundary, that is okay. Sir, frontier may be a water body. Yes, why not? Why not? A frontier may be a water body. First is either you people agree to draw a boundary within that water boundary or within that water body. As long as you do not agree to draw a boundary between them, why can't you take it as this thing? So, can no man's land between South Korea and North Korea be called a frontier? South Korea and North Korea had agreed upon a demilitarized zone, DMZ. That is a kind of a boundary. They have very clearly defined that. So, that is called kind of a boundary, Soumya. So, DMZ, demilitarized zone, that will be a boundary. Outward limit, inward limit specified by frontier and boundary. Okay, somewhere that is there. Okay, we will look at that. We will look at that also. So, let me come back and thank you for participating, thank you for asking logical questions. You are asking logical questions, and when you have these answers with you, obviously you will be writing smart answers also. So, let us come to boundary. And please listen and understand boundary well, because in the end I am going to ask you differentiate between frontiers and boundaries. Okay? So, it is an imaginary line separating nations, states or political units. Can I say that? Because we are talking about political geography. Yes? The point line up to which the sovereign control of a political unit exists. And please do not see it as that, please see it as a 3D thing. It has a vertical expanse also, vertically also. So, remember it is air space also. So, not only at the bottom, the boundary will divide your airspace also. Get that? It is a legal thing, it is a legal political phenomena. There might be a law that went into that, there might be a treaty that went into that, there might be a accord. You heard of Treaty of Versailles after the World War? You heard of the idea of that Ottoman Empire. Remember Ottoman Empire, India had Khilafat movement at that time, Ottoman Empire being broken down. Yes, Turkey was created out of that. So, all those things, so there are laws and legal things, boundaries have been created. Get that? So, now in order to see how boundaries are different from frontiers, we need to realize that boundaries are legal entities and there is a process of creation of boundaries. Hear that? Country A, country B, okay, What is this? In between they had a frontier zone. Don't draw this, just listen to this. Country A and country B, we had frontiers. Natural frontiers, no problem. But what happened is, with time, this country A expanded. Country B also expanded. And as a result, with time, what happened? The frontier started shrinking. Frontiers shrunk further, so much so that they have started coming close to each other. And some conflicts are happening. So, these two countries said that, look, as long as we were not expanding, that was okay, but now we are expanding and we don't want to waste energy in conflicts. Let us be civilized. Why don't we convert this frontier into a well-defined boundary? So they sit down, they talk and go into allocation. What is allocation? Formal agreement. Step one of creating a boundary is allocation. A and B have agreed. Okay, bhai, I am okay with this line. No, I don't want this. So that is what we are saying with China. LAC is not agreed. With Pakistan, LOC is agreed. So what we are looking at is that there is an issue on this. There is a very clear issue on this. Now we have agreed, okay, I don't want any more this thing. I think with the coming of Narendra Modi government, we had some agreement with Bangladesh and we resolved that border dispute. We said they are long standing, like Indians living in the exclaves in Bangladesh, what's the point? They are not even getting served. So can we exchange some areas? You take some area, we take some area, amicably done. Yeah. First is allocation. So you have to come into formal agreement. Now I have come into formal agreement, but then there must be some way in which I will be drawing that line, because it's an imaginary line. So what will happen is, step 2 is delimitation. Delimitation is selecting and plotting. The points, places of allocation. Now sometimes it is very easy that mountains are there. Just imagine mountains are there and we take the summits, the peak summits, the highest points, and we say, okay, let us take an imaginary line as if it is connecting, let us do that. Sometimes it is not available. Suppose it is a plain, then you will have to select, no? Let us sit down. On what basis are we selecting? Some historical map I have. Okay, you sit and let us talk on this. Okay, by this international principle we must be doing that. Say for example, when we are talking about river, if the river is coming, so the law says you can take either of the banks of the river, but if you are taking the bank of the river, then probably the chances the whole river goes on the other side. So you can take the deepest part of the river, which is called the Thalweg. So on either side of the Thalweg you have divided it into two. Some people say no, we will take the median. So there are many ways of delimiting, but this is mathematical, quantitative things will be coming over here. So that is where quantification also you can use that. So when you are talking about this, if you want to bring in perspective, we can very well say allocation is a political process. You have agreed on that, but delimitation is a quantitative process whereby you will identify what will be used to do that. Then we come to the step 3 of it. I have agreed that this mountain is there. Okay, this is the part of the river which is going to be there. Get that? In the plain I have done that. Now how do I show that? How would you know that this is there? I have agreed, you have agreed, you and I will die, but the border will still be there, the boundary will still be there. It has to be put somewhere. So we start putting some markers on that. This is called demarcation. We have agreed on the delimitation, let us mark on that. Have you heard of border pillars? Border pillars, up to this pillar Pakistan can come, up to this we can, or in the no man's land between India and Pakistan there are border pillars. Yes or no? At some places we are talking about erecting fences. Donald Trump talking about fencing the border with Mexico. If it is in the river and ocean, then what do? You put floating objects like buoys. Floating buoys can be kept over there. Floating markers can be kept over there. Step 3. If allocation was done with a good intention, with strong political will, if delimitation was done with proper mathematical quantitative science, and if demarcation has been done effectively, you are left with a very, very simple task. Step number 4. This is called administration. Now you are going to administer the borderline. And you know, India-Pakistan border, we say that we don't want military to be there. So what we have done, we said BSF will be there. BSF is there. We are talking about Leh Ladakh now. We are talking about why military was there because of this Galwan skirmish. Have you heard of ITBP coming over there? The proposal that ITBP should be there. So that is what we are looking at. Maintenance and operations. And I want to give you a very important statement over here. The best boundary is the one that falls between two good neighbors. A good boundary is the one which is used the minimum. All these years, India and China were not putting in their energy and everything for Galawan. Suddenly, China has brought in this issue and we are talking about. There were very well documented border issues with China. Why did they bring it? We had to put in our military over there. We were talking about getting a missile defense system. We asked Russia to deliver it fast. We were in talk with Israel. And I want to tell you, even the Western world, though we are saying that they will come and mediate and they will come and reconcile, won't let the war happen. I am saying the Western world will be silent because they are the sellers of all these weapons and armaments, and they want, you know, this industry to continue. Just imagine. Who will buy all these aircrafts from France? If you ask France, they will say stay wherever you are, you should resolve it amicably. But India, do you need any defense? These Chinese people, we do not know. They keep on sending things to us. कोई virus मार रहा है, कोई कुछ मार रहा है, कोई भरोसा थोड़ी China का. So the fear will continue. I am saying the best boundary is the boundary that falls between two good, responsible neighbors. There is a demilitarized boundary across European Union. There is no military standing over there. India, Pakistan, India, China, militarized. If not militarized, we have, you know, border security force and military also waiting at their station. So this discussion, when we are bringing in the context, also keep in mind a good boundary. A good boundary is the one which is least used, simply administered. And I am very clear, there is a very strong sense of space and territory. No country, no patriotic individual would want to give anything to any other country. We would want a strong army all the time to protect us. But if we have a neighbor, we can trust on. Can we use that for peace? So good boundaries will spread peace. And what will be important? All the 3 steps. Allocation with good intentions, with honest intentions. Why is China not clearing that LAC for so many years? Their intentions are not clear on that. Delimitation, there should be an agreed thing. When we were talking about fingers, finger 4, finger 8, you know, like up to what point India can come, then they started putting in those tents and those structures, permanent structures. Delimitation was being violated. And if you are questioning them, then you know you are inviting trouble. Demarcation, pillars, fence, buoys, they have to be respected. If they are not respected, big challenge. Are we getting that or not? This was about boundaries, how they are created. Let me classify boundaries. Classification of boundaries. Morphological boundaries. Morphological boundaries. That means based on physical features. Based on physical features. Then we can have genetic boundaries. Genetic boundaries based on origin. This is where 2019 question came. This was given by Hartshorne. Get that? And third is based on location. Where is the boundary? Land or water? Do we get that? So let us start with first one, morphological boundaries, physical features. So quickly type in what physical features will act as good boundaries. If you can give me example, nothing like that. Morphological boundaries. Morphological boundaries. Now, morphological boundaries have been subdivided into physical boundaries, geometric boundaries, many subdivisions coming in here, anthropogenic boundaries, complex boundaries. Complex is a mix of many. I hope the audio and video is fine. If nothing, do let me know. Physical boundaries can be a mountain range, it can be water bodies, river, lake, sea. Get that? It can be marshy areas. I wrote somewhere marshes. Did I write desert? Yeah, desert also I gave you an example. So quickly I want you to give me examples. Mountain range, where it is a boundary, which water body, lake or sea, if you can. I have already talked about them. Quickly, let's see, you are awake and working. Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya. Okay, you are telling me, that's good. You are giving me all those examples. Amazing. Perfect. So let me come back. Now this is where I believe in this answer time to draw diagrams have come. Time to draw diagrams have come. So in this answer, if I have to show boundaries, I can use this whole world map to tell my examiner something about boundaries and frontiers. Get that? So I'll try and use all of them. You can write them, I will just depict them. So I think here very clearly a good boundary, very well defined, will be Andes. Andes will be a boundary between which one? This is Chile, this is Argentina. Chile, Argentina, Andes. So mountain, Chile and Argentina. Some people are talking about Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is almost at equator. Yes, Lake Victoria. So Lake Victoria, if you are talking about, you wrote something, what were the names? I don't remember. I think it was, which country will come here? Kenya, Tanzania? Chotu, Uganda will also come. Okay. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. So lake is also there. Lake Victoria. Lake reminds me of sea also. So here which sea do we have? Which sea is this? Caspian Sea. Caspian Sea. So here you have Russia, yes, Russia, Grozny. Here you have Azerbaijan, yes. Here you have Iran. This is what is this? Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and Turkmenistan. Sorry, that can be there. Yes or no? Some people also talked of a river here. What is this? Rio Grande. Rio Grande. Here we have in Canada Saint Lawrence. Saint Lawrence, between this thing and this is Rio Grande. Absolutely okay. So rivers also we have talked about. So I am saying you are talking about visibility, you can very well give it a lot of visibility over there. Yes or no? I was talking about some marshy areas. Marshy areas. Remember Run of Kutch? So marsh is Run of Kutch. So marsh is Run of Kutch. So there are some principles being used over there. The crest line principle. For mountain, what do we have? Crest line principle. So we will take the highest mountains and take an imaginary line through that crest line. For rivers, what do we use? Rivers or lakes, what do we use? Probably the principle of Thalweg, remember? If we don't have that, so naturally we are using that, we can very well use that Thalweg principle, which is the deepest part, that can also be there. Do we get that? And around the oceans, what do we have? How much is this? Remember 12 nautical mile. 12 nautical mile can also be there. So that is also a boundary when we are talking about coastal boundaries. Coastal boundaries, yes or no? Remember the desert? Desert we were talking about, desert, Arabian. Desert is Arabian desert, we can very well do that, yes. Even Sahara, this also is a desert. So desert has been divided and desert has been kept as a boundary also on that. Get that? Some part of it is definitely frontier. Some part of the desert will always be a frontier, no doubt about that. So please don't be confused. In fact, Africa is more of a different set of boundaries. But what have I talked about? I have talked about first set of boundaries, physical boundaries. Is everyone okay? And an opportunity to draw diagrams also, give examples also, that can also be there. Now is a geometric boundary. How is a geometric boundary there? So geometric boundary is a straight line boundary, maybe because of some agreement, and a very big example happens is post colonial African nations, almost straight line boundaries. Have you seen that political map of Africa? So what happened was, so there was this treaty when they are leaving, so probably a treaty has happened, an arbitration has happened, and they have agreed on that. So what will they use? They will use a line like a latitude, a longitude, okay, or probably they will take a point and an arc of a given radius. They can be very well used. So African countries we find, sub-Saharan countries, and in Saharan especially, like Sahara region, Western Sahara, Mauritania, please check, these have very linear boundaries, very much possible. Here if I am making, I will make such straight boundaries. Get that? So something of that sort you can very well make them. Okay. I also want to tell you a linear boundary with latitude is this 49th parallel. Have you heard this or not? 49th parallel. This is the boundary between US and Canada. 49th parallel. Heard of that? I don't know whether you've heard it or not, but 49th parallel. People who have attended my world geography classes, I generally talk about that 49th parallel. North Korea, South Korea, if you've heard of that, that is 49, and this is slightly over here. So, if I can break that, North Korea and South Korea, this is called the 38th parallel. And I also want to tell you that this one, this is a longitude. How much is this? 141 degree west longitude. What is this? This is US Alaska, and this is Canada. So, what they have used? They have used a longitude and a latitude. So, longitude 141 degree west, 49th parallel, and 38th parallel, that can also be used. Many people have used either through a treaty or through an arbitration, through an agreement. Such lines have been created. Is everyone okay with that? So, I am keeping one map, and on that map I am showing that also. Third is anthropogenic. Anthropogenic is what? Man-made. Man-made based on socio-cultural attributes. Get that? Say for example, language. On language, remember linguistic states in India. Linguistic states in India. I also want to tell you that based on language, I think this France, Germany, Italy, before World War II, because after World War II, you know, the treaties came and, you know, proper this thing was there, but before that there was linguistic boundaries. There will be linguistic boundaries. Get that? Religion. So, you do a delimitation based on religion. Who else would know better? India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. When East Pakistan was created, that was on religious basis, yes or no? Very clearly religious basis. That is what we are talking about. Have you heard of Northern Ireland? Protestant Christians over there. There is this island in what should I say? Mediterranean Sea. Heard of Cyprus? Some part of it is under Turkish, and this part is under Greece. So, this is Greeks. So, can I say apart from the religion, there can be culture and ethnicity? Possible or not? So, the boundaries have been made on that also. Turkish Cypriots and Greek Cypriots are different. They are very much different on that. So, that is also, these are the boundaries which have been created. So, I am not drawing them, but I have mentioned them. Complex is mix of more than one criteria. US Canada. Can you see US Canada has more than one criteria? What is it? This one is river, so morphological, and this one is what? Geometric. So, this is more of an example of a complex one, more of an example of a complex one. Did we get that? Is everyone okay with morphological boundaries? After that I will come to genetic or Hartshorne's boundaries. Everyone okay with this? If any questions, please ask me. Graphs, maps are a tool to make your answer more interactive. If you want to save time in the examination, you need not draw a full world map. You can just take an example, take South America and job done. Shruti says Israel, Palestine, yes, we have put geometric boundaries on that. Geometric boundary between Libya and Egypt, absolutely correct. Sir, can we put Strait or Gulf, Akshay, Strait and Gulf, and even these creeks? Remember, there is this Sar Creek issue with us, with Pakistan. So they are also considered as water bodies. They can act as frontier as well as boundary, and as I told you, the laws will be required. A frontier is a stage of evolution of a boundary. So can I say it is the final stage of evolution? Boundary comes later on. Anthro can include bridge to Sweden, Denmark, or Great Wall of China. Devik, I will just bring this also, and I want to tell you this is Sweden, Denmark. When we are talking about, that is not a boundary line between them. Please get that. You have, I don't know whether you've seen that bridge or not. I have navigated in that Sweden, Denmark area with my ships. So the boundary is not by that bridge. Boundary is not by that bridge. In fact, that's a maritime area, no? So maritime area will have its own thing. Great Wall of China. Well, is this a boundary or not? So this is considered, we will talk about Hartshorne, Devik, and there is a category in that which is called the relic boundary, which used to be a boundary in the past, which is no longer a boundary. So there I can take Devik's example, and there I can accept that, Devik. Do we get that? Okay, so let's go further. Let us come to this genetic classification. Genetic, based on how did they originate, based on origin classification. This was given by Richard Hartshorne. This was given by Richard Hartshorne. And you can see the words are geographical antecedent boundaries. You know, antecedent is something that comes before. So boundary created before the present day human landscape was created. Means boundary was already there. Human beings went there, occupied it, but boundary was created before that. So no conflict. So boundary was already delineated, no problem with that. And what will happen? People will go there later. Remember, I just told you this boundary. (141° west). This is Alaska. This is Yukon region of Canada. Before people inhabited this, before anything happened, before development of this happened, this line was already there. So what will happen is, if two responsible nations are there, conflicts will not come. Antecedent boundary is a better boundary. Antecede means it came before human beings were there, before cultural landscape. I have written human landscape, you can also call it cultural landscape was created. Do we get that? If that is there, this is a very luxurious thing. But if we are talking about India, the people were living. We were a British colony, and there they had to create a boundary. So already a human landscape, a cultural landscape was very much in position. And then they created it, and that is why we had a conflict also. Antecedent, no conflict, because already that is there. You are already prepared in your mind, this thing belongs to him, this thing belongs to him. But here there was a conflict, and we had one of the bloodiest partitions in the world. So that's what we are talking about. This will be consequent boundary. Consequent boundary. See, the question which UPSC had asked in 2019 was not list down boundaries. They said discuss the boundaries. You will have to discuss also. Say for example, no conflicts. Better delineation. You will tell us how and why no. And sir, how do we draw them? Remember 4 stages: allocation, delimitation, demarcation, and finally monitoring. Do that. Can be done. But this one becomes a very, very big one. So subsequent or consequent is also called as subsequent. So I am putting 2 names in this. Consequent, subsequent boundaries. So what are these? The boundaries were demarcated. Boundaries were demarcated. Boundaries were demarcated after cultural landscape had been, cultural or human landscape had been created. So, this had already been created. What will happen? Disputes, disagreements, need for reconciliation and protracted delays, delay in reconciliation. Partition should happen, how should it happen, where will the people go, how will the refugees be taken care of, where what kind of allocation will be there, something of that sort, any fund exchange will happen, many things will be there. So, that is what we are talking about, subsequent or consequent boundaries, slow reconciliation. Example, India Pakistan. Okay. Now, let us talk about subsequent boundaries, certain boundaries which are not there, but for which fighting is happening. Say for example, Kurdistan or Kurds, the Kurd region, which is the Kurds were sharing that region between Iran, Turkey and that West Asia region, Syria. Big challenge over there or not? So, those boundaries before they are created, first of all, it is not easy to create those boundaries. Nobody, no country will agree to have that. Very difficult to create that. Get that? So, when you are creating that, there will be fight. Say for example, North Korea, South Korea demilitarized zone, DMZ, demilitarized zone. Creation will take challenges, but subsequent. People who are living over there, we have agreed on that, that is going to happen. Get that? Have you seen that region, that island called Papua New Guinea, which is the second largest island in the world? There also it is divided between, New Guinea is the island, the country is Papua New Guinea and Irian Jaya, which is your Indonesia. They are also drawing that boundary. Big challenge or not? So, that is your consequent. Third one is called superimposed boundary. In fact, I would want to shift North Korea from subsequent to superimposed. North South Korea DMZ. This is created later on. It is a kind of subsequent only, created by a truce, ceasefire agreement after war. Yes, it ignores cultural landscape. So, this religion people are living over here, this kind of people are, it ignores everything. Truce, ceasefire. So, this is demilitarized zone in North Korea, South Korea. Recently, African country which broke down into two. That country used to be the largest African country till it broke down. Sudan, remember Sudan and South Sudan. When we are looking at that is happening over there. Do we get that? So, subsequent was, something of that sort, but superimposed is superimposed on them. You heard of Yugoslavia, Balkanization, that Balkan Peninsula, still breaking down, still we are working on that. And the last one which he said was relic boundary. This is no longer, very important, no longer considered important category of boundary. These boundaries were there in the past. Times past when smaller states were eaten up by big colonizers, or have become redundant today. So they are no longer the boundary. Say for example, have you heard of there was East Germany and West Germany? East Germany, West Germany separated by the wall of Germany. Yes, this wall was removed. So German wall. Somebody gave the example of Great Wall of China. Great Wall of China was erected on the border to prevent the invasion by the Mongols. But now the border has shifted. And in fact Mongolia has become, Mongolian desert, the Gobi desert has become more of a transition between them. So that's what we are talking about. So this is your 4 categories of boundaries where you have to give examples and discuss them. This is the genetic classification also, based on origin also. This is what Richard Hartshorne's classification is all about. Do we get that? Oh, sorry, no 4th in this. 4th I have done. Anything left in my flow chart? Let me check. Genetic also done. Okay, based on location is nothing. Based on location is very easy. It is only about land or water. So on land, it is the terrestrial or continental boundary. It can be all types above. It limits the sovereignty on land surface between 2 nations. So that's a land boundary. And what is this? They can be maritime boundary also. Yes or no? Division of world oceans. And you've heard of 1983 in oceanography classes. My students, we had talked about UNCLOS. If you are some other institute there also, you would have heard of that. United Nations Convention on Laws of Seas. So here it divides it into territorial water, then what is it, contiguous zone or hot pursuit zone, then EEZ, exclusive economic zone. Territorial water is up to 12 nautical mile from the baseline, EEZ is up to 200 nautical mile from the baseline. US has also requested for another one, so there is something called as a continental shelf also. I am not going into that because that is not an important idea over here. Idea was territorial water, contiguous water, or also called as hot pursuit zone, HPZ, hot pursuit zone, and EEZ. Do we get that? If you have any questions, please ask. And if you don't have any question, my last thing where I would want to end is, what is the difference between borders and frontiers? Difference between borders and frontiers. Shruti says, sir, please show the pages once again. Okay, Shruti, I'll show the pages, don't worry. I'm looking at borders and frontiers quickly, whatever comes to your mind. One is linear, other is a zone. Yes, very good. We can also say one is limits you inside the boundary, whereas frontier is a place where countries have expanded, they can move towards the outer limit. So if there is a wide frontier, you can actually look towards expanding. Later on an interaction will be there. I also saw a difference in temporal ideas, where I believe that boundary may come after a frontier. So somebody was looking at other pages, so this is done. I am pushing it up. So Shruti had asked. So this was about relic, Great Wall of China. This was a relic. Yes, I'm still looking at your differences, whatever differences you have to. So I said boundary can be the last stage of frontier. Can we say that? Frontiers with time can convert into boundaries. Somebody said that boundaries are fixed. Well, we just saw how they are created. Why can't they be shifted here? They can very well be shifted. So what was this? Demilitarized zone. Okay, superimposed boundaries, I told you. Superimposed boundaries. Still looking at your questions and differences. Frontiers are transitional zone, not properly defined, outward borders, legal, linear, inwards. Okay, border, Madhvi, I think you meant boundaries. So boundaries are legal. Yes, boundaries are legal. They generally are legal, linear, inwards. Okay, if you know about inwards, yes, boundaries are backed with legal agreement. Okay, most of you are talking the same things, which are absolutely okay. Frontiers lead to boundary. Yes, in time they can. Very good. Boundaries separate, frontiers are somewhat a uniting feature. Difficult to say that they will unite, because people of mixed this thing are living. They can be zones of stress also. Remember, we have always maintained that even an atmospheric front is not a zone of peace. There can be tension, but yes, you can use that area to improve your relations, no doubt about that. That can be a demilitarized zone, that can be an area where you can bring in more interaction. True. Borders are more of geopolitical, while frontiers are political geography. No, Anish, I will not take that. That border or boundary is geopolitical and frontier. Both of them are coming in political geography. Okay, more or less everybody has got the idea. You are sounding enthusiastic also. You're sounding confident also. Your answers are also coming well. So I enjoyed this session without any break. There was no obstruction in this session, so it was nice talking to you. You were participating, it was fun. Morning's lecture, I think you were also on the back foot. Arey, ye humanism kya hai, idealism kya hai, phenomenology kya hai. So when you don't have the confidence, you will see that even the class energy will change. Same thing happens in the examination. Same thing happens in the examination. Just having some sentences is not enough. Just having some sentences is not enough. And why did it become very frustrating for me? Yeah, after explaining one, you're going to the next one, but the previous one was mute or probably power cut. When I asked you some questions, that was the time when power cut happened. So I can understand, the whole organic energy has to evolve. And this examination is all about that. Even in prelims, I always tell my students, there are many students who will be very well prepared now, but by the time the date of prelims come, their graph will start going down. So civil services examination clearing is all about peaking at the right time. So this is the time when we could afford to talk about geography, we could afford to talk about optional, and remaining time we can keep on giving to GS or something of that sort. But yes, after 15th August, I believe, we should start moving towards the peak of our prelims also. And I also want to remind all of you, please take very good care of your family's health. Corona, we are listening of many people getting okay also after that, but Corona, dealing with it is a very painful task. It is very difficult also, and at times, there are researches which are saying that the Corona is not just a flu. It is a flu, but it can have impacts on your multiple organs, including the brain. So stay safe, be careful, and thank you for this joyous session which I had with you. I'm sure you also were pretty engaged. Your enthusiasm and that thing was there. What questions we will write? So let us stick to these questions only, standard questions. So where were the questions? Yes. Let us stick to this. Define and differentiate between boundaries and frontier. Describe the geometrical boundary with suitable example. Done? So one question was asked yesterday, and this is there. Whichever you want, you can very well do that if you want, because I would need time to check. So I would be more interested in checking that human geography answer. This is an easy question. So especially when the beginners tell me, sir, we are running short of ideas, kuch answer is writing में confidence नहीं आता, so we don't write answers. You can try. The bachas, the baby ones, with all respect to you, I am not saying you are bachas, you don't know it, I am saying you are taking those baby steps. Take it on this question. That's why I said, no, if I keep on giving you perspectives and you don't have that thinking and linking power, what will happen? The classes will be going good for some, not for some others. So I am very, very clear. I have kept it slow. I don't just want to jump into very big themes. These were easy themes, regional theme, idea of dualisms, dichotomies, debates in the discipline, quantitative revolution, you've read also. But for writing, if you were feeling a block, this will help you define and differentiate between boundary and frontiers. I just did that with you. Now what will be the challenge? Challenge will be how smartly you write within that word limit, 150 to 200 words, nothing else. Challenge will be how will you write in your time limits of 10 minutes. So don't take half an hour to submit this answer. First think about it, read about it if needed, and then go into this. Do we get that? If you don't have any question, I would like to end the class. I will go to the console to check any question. Thanks a lot. Otherwise, it was a pleasure talking to all of you. Rahul says, what was the question yesterday? The question yesterday, what was the question yesterday? Rahul, if you have not attended the question yesterday, where was this question? Was it on this slide? No, it was not on this slide either. And if you have the question, if you can type it over there. Yesterday's question, we had given you a choice. So I will put that. You can send me a what? You can very well send me a WhatsApp message. I'll put that on that, Rahul. Okay? Because I don't remember which slide I was using. So thank you and see you all. This was what we had to talk about. Can we attempt any other question for yesterday, for today? See, Rahul, you want to practice, you can very well practice. I just said that, like if you can do that, one of that, because I would be evaluating only one in that. Answer to be submitted by midnight. Okay, you can submit by midnight. Can Montaigne boundary be an example of antecedent boundary? If yes, can it be the example of complex? Who's this? Kalyani Chala. I would want to say, why are you mixing Montaigne with antecedent? Antecedent has not got to do with physical or human. Antecedent is after human settlement happened, after that, whether it happened or not. So antecedent comes before, so before human settlement. So if mountain was there, it can be there, very much there. Discuss critically the manner in which quantitative revolution provided the methodological foundation for models and modeling in geography. Okay, Deepshi has given that question. And second is areal differentiation has provided the theoretical justification. Is everyone okay with that? So I will be sending you, I will be uploading this video also. That is it from my side. Thank you. I hope you benefited from it. So yes, about the next session as per the planner, tomorrow there is no session. So tomorrow there is no session. So we kept a session on 12th. Tomorrow there is no session. We will be meeting on 13th. 13th we have a session, okay. So Monday we have a session, we'll continue with political geography and we will have that, and this session of 12th will be taken on either 14th or 15th, I will let you know. 14th or 15th I will let you know. Is everyone okay with that? So Monday we have a class 11 am. That's it. I would like to stop over here.